In the year 2000, Marvel was in trouble. Declining sales in the 90s had them absolutely rinsed, so they wanted to try something new in like a desperate attempt to stay relevant. They took all the classic characters and reimagined them, modernising them for the edgy youth of the modern day. And it worked, sales were up, the reputation went up. People liked the Ultimate Universe in the end. But then it went on too long and got a bit too crazy, didn't it, mate? The cool thing about the idea, though, especially after it all went to crap after Ultimatum, was it gave writers free rein to do really whatever the hell they wanted that they couldn't do with the actual mainline Marvel universe. So, like, Magneto destroyed New York, Quicksilver become a terrorist, Spider-Man friggin' died, Captain America became president of the bleeding United States. But not every character really got the moment to shine, even if they were actually in the books, because we can't all be Green Goblins and Lokis, can we, mate? I'm going to talk now about the characters that did so little in the Ultimate Universe, they may as well have not existed at all in it. I'm going to try and stick to characters that they barely bothered with, instead of just mentioning characters they did use but I didn't like the use of, like what they did with Daredevil. I'm also going to try and not take characters they didn't use at all, like, I don't know, Hydro Man. And I'll also try and dodge characters who had no story role, but were represented by others in spirit, you know, like how Spider-Woman was basically Scarlet Spider. For the Sandman then, listen, he was never a top-tier spider baddie, but he defo could have been used better than he was. I think he gets like 4 lines in the entire universe and none of them contribute towards a personality. Doesn't help that Marco was defo retconned in last second so the Sinister Six could indeed have 6 members. He's mentioned in the first few issues, but it goes literally nowhere. When Marco was introduced proper, it's set the night Spider-Man takes down Dr. Octopus and Kraven for the first time, but then once Spider-Man beats them, he goes home. But then months later in a different issue, they go, well, no, actually, Spider-Man come back and then fought Sandman. So it's like, where was this in the original one? He helped some Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fight Sandman, when in the actual book originally, he'd just gone home. It was already home. It was never alluded to at all originally that he ever fought another villain that night. And then, after the Ultimate Six story, where Sandman and Norman Osborn's Sinister Six get their asses stomped by Captain America's crew, Sandman vanishes until the very end, where he helps kill Peter Parker. But even then, he doesn't do anything cool, he just like moans and is a little crybaby because Electro takes charge. And then, again, once they're defeated, he, oh, you guessed it, vanishes again, but this time for good, never see him again. Why even add him at this point, man? He never says or does anything of relevance, he's got no story arcs of his own. He's just a goon to give Norman the right number of lackeys in one story. What a waste. With Iron Man villains, they're certainly not on the level of Batman, Spider-Man or even The Flash. But just like every fictional character, the flaws aren't in its concept, it's in the writing. Some of Iron Man's baddies have good ideas behind them, it's just up to the creators to give them the chance to be cool. This didn't happen in Ultimate Marvel. 2 of Iron Man's villains appear at the same time, get one fight, die, and that's it. In the first part of the Galactus trilogy, a few Avengers, Ultimates, investigate this Russian bunker at the same time the X-Men do the same. But in this bunker, S.H.I.E.L.D. meet and kill the Unicorn, who goes down to Falcon in one hit and is then lit up by Fury like he was nothing. The fella fights Iron Man normally, but he gets stabbed and a bullet and he's dead here. Okay. But even worse, in the same story, I think it was even in the same issue, is the Crimson Dynamo. He fights the X-Men and then kills himself like a mug trying to kill them. Neither character get any lines. Most the Unicorn gets is a few giggles, but just looks stupid anyway. Just seems wasteful to me to blow a character's already small villainous cast, and instead of reimagining them as actual interesting characters or something cool, you just drop them like flies, mate. Rogues Gallery. More like Shooting Gallery with how fast these guys pop up and get put down. The Ultimate Universe is aptly named Fire Mutant Pyro, had a lot of good ideas behind him. His firepowers left him scarred and disfigured and all burned, but he was still a genuinely good bloke fighting for mutant rights, and he joins the X-Men soon after his first debut issue, where Bishop, who was currently leading them, blatantly states he's got loads of potential and he's a legend in the future. They use him to infiltrate a villain group as a spy, and then that's it, that's all he really does in the book. Then off screen for some reason he leaves the X-Men, joins the villains, tries to molest Valkyrie before he gets his hand chopped off and left to bleed out, I assume, because afterwards he's never seen again, as it keep happening. This one's awful because he did have raw potential to be a great spin on a usually villainous character, but poor communication between writers got him sent to the Bleeding Shadow realm because the guy writing Ultimates 3, I suppose he just hadn't read Ultimate Pyro, just saw the name Pyro and went, oh, the baddie, got it. If they ever do try this new universe thing again, I hope they put more thought into long-term character plans. I'm not saying every villain has to be Doctor Doom levels of relevant, but there's some cool concepts here that are just wasted.